Matthew Broussard has a special streaming on YouTube right now called Hyperbolic. He is at the Comedy Loft tonight and tomorrow. Please welcome back Matthew Broussard.
Thank you, Elliot. I appreciate it.
How are you, sir?
I'm great. Shout out to No Coast. That's Marzipan you're hearing. Incredible band who should be more popular. I'm glad you played them.
And that obviously is from the special.
Yeah.
Which, by the way, can I tell you, the special is so goddamn good.
Thank you. I appreciate you watching.
Beginning to end, it's fantastic.
Thank you.
It is fantastic. I want you to explain. I don't want to give too much of it away.
Uh-huh.
But I do have a couple of questions about the special.
Yeah.
It starts a little bit different than most specials start.
Uh-huh.
Like, it's not like, hey, welcome Matthew Broussard. I'm like mid-set already at that point. What's going on there?
I just don't think I have I don't think I've earned a big introduction. I don't think I've earned the coming to the stage. I just kind of wanted to get into it.
Right.
And not waste people's time. And I'm trying to prove myself here. I'm not sitting or resting on many laurels. Just wanted to kind of just jump right in mid-sentence. It starts on a laugh, and then me kind of saying that joke's not going in, which was, there was material. I did some local material about New York City up top, and I cut that into a different clip, and that was just a fun way, but it would have been kind of weird to start the special with that, so I started that, and then the reason it's about 7 seconds of a laugh, and then the title and then the first joke. The first joke has some slightly foul language, and if you put inappropriate content in the first 10 seconds specifically, you get demonetized. So I really just had to put a 7-second buffer there so that the
Wait,
key
hold on
phrase.
1 second. So if I'm not mistaken, doesn't it start? It starts with a masturbation on the train joke.
Yes.
And
but 10 seconds in, and not 3 seconds in, which would have made the difference between money and distribution.
Wait, so if you would have told that joke 3 seconds earlier, when you say, like, so what did they do? Like, I don't understand.
They would demonetize it, which means I wouldn't make money off of it, which isn't the bigger factor, but it would limit its distribution. It wouldn't be showed to people algorithmically. It wouldn't be suggested as a video. It wouldn't be shown to my followers. It would have been devastating.
Are you serious?
Devastating. Yeah.
Now, who did that homework?
My director said we can't have that joke first, so it was my idea to just put like a little bit of a laugh and then come in at that like 7-second mark, 10-second mark.
Holy crap!
Yeah.
So even if somebody was a diehard Matthew Broussard fan,
people who follow me might not even be shown it. Yeah.
That's the stupidest thing I've ever heard.
It's happened to 2 great comics I know where they got their special that they put all this work into got demonetized. It's worse than Disney. It just feels like Animal Farm. It feels like, we got rid of the humans for the pigs and the pigs became the humans. Or like ABC, NBC was never, they would at least tell us why we couldn't say certain words and give us standards and practices. And now we're just like, hope TikTok, do I say segs instead of sex? Like, what do I do?
But is it now? I feel like
unalive yourself.
No, but
it's so stupid.
But now I feel like I'm beating a dead horse. But if you would have said masturbating instead of, I don't know that I can say it. J-O, right?
J-O, yeah.
If you would have said masturbating instead of J-O, because like when I think about it, it's not even that dirty.
Maybe, but there's also no rubric. There's no like suggested protocols. It's kind of like at the discretion of not even humans. Robots decide these things. It's terrible.
But I will say this, it didn't, because it does start mid laugh, which I get. By the way, if somebody would have introduced you and brought you to the stage, you would have made your 7 seconds. That we could have eliminated all of that.
But think about all the people who would have turned it off because we're so impulsive. Our attention spans are so short. Horrendous.
I would argue
myself included.
I will argue nobody will turn off your special.
If you get suggested it and you're like, this intro is running long.
Oh, stop! I'm not going to watch it
this,
because somebody's like, you've seen him before.
People are sitting on the toilet and this gets suggested and they open it and then I have 10 seconds to grab their attention. They're not going to sit through a 30-second, smoke and lasers and lights and me being lifted onto the stage.
Lifted. So am I the anomaly?
Yes.
Okay.
Yeah.
No.
You sat through 48 minutes of my comedy. Yeah, that's really rare. I have people who've seen me multiple times live who will go, "Oh, we love you on Instagram." They've never gone and watched something more than 90 seconds.
See, but that's what I was going to say. I would much rather, and listen, yes, you put stuff up online, and it's funny, and I like it, and it's very good. Or sometimes you'll post a joke, just a joke, online. What is the joke? I read, and it was old, but I read a joke not too long ago. Oh, it was something about, I can't remember, but more people hate Yoko Ono than Mark David Chapman. Hysterical. Hysterical.
Thank you. It's tough being a woman. Jesus. Yeah.
That's what it was.
Yeah. Here's how much people hate women. Mark David Chapman had a movie. It was played by Jared Leto versus Yoko Ono. Like, she really destroyed the Beatles. Someone killed John Lennon. It really destroyed their chance for a reunion.
But what I was going to say is, like, that's funny. And watching a small clip is funny.
Yeah.
Every day of the week, I'd rather go see a set, even if it's somebody I don't know.
Yeah.
And I'll go like, okay, clip is good. I'd rather go see a whole set and walk out going like, well, maybe not my favorite comedian, than to just try to base that on a 10-second clip. Maybe the 10-second clip gets me there, but I'd much rather go watch a full set.
Yeah. Yeah, I'm a bit concerned for society and for myself that it's so hard to sit through things anymore. We're like children. And what I've said about social media is you're not watching your stand-up, you're watching a trailer for my stand-up. And I would appreciate anyone who comes and sees the full show. I think you'll get more. That's what I always hope of what you're saying. You get more out of watching more. And it's an exponential thing.
Right.
Yeah.
If you'll laugh for 10 seconds, why not go laugh for an hour?
And God forbid there's callbacks built in. You start to build familiarity with the characters in the story, with the themes of the story. I'm trying to read more. I'm trying to do all these things that build your brain out.
I will say this, and please don't take this the wrong way. But so Matthew got here early this morning. Like, I was shocked. I was like, why are you here? Matthew sat outside and read a book.
I'm trying. I'm really bad at reading. I'm trying.
Are you like bad at reading, like you don't understand it, or bad at reading, or you're slow?
I'm slow. Both. I'm slow, and it's the retention and comprehension are low, and like I don't think I'd be a gifted reader anyway. But just how much my mind wanders off, and I have to reread a paragraph.
Oh, I have to do that all the time. But I read very, very slowly.
Yeah, me too.
Very slowly.
You know what's heartbreaking is my fiance reads so fast. Have you ever heard the speed at which other people audible? She goes like 2.3.
Are you serious?
On a good day, I'm 1.7, but like usually 1.3. Like casual listening, 1.2, 1.3. She's over 2 and absorbing it while doing tasks. It's crazy. It's just so fast. She can read so well. I'm so jealous. Yeah. All
right, and I'm going to get to her in a moment. I want to get to her because she plays a big part in the special.
Yeah, I really throw her under the bus over and over and over. Yeah.
But a couple of other things I learned. Are the two Jewish kids real kids?
Who?
Is
Ben Jew is a real person. Joey Matza is a real person.
And Joey Matza. Are they real?
Yeah, they're real people.
I know J.P. Morgan isn't Jewish person. That part I know. But
James Pierpont, yes.
Are those real? Those are real dudes?
Yes. Yeah, the one name I had to change was unfortunately Spalding Walters is not a real name. All the names listed are, but the real joke was about Hawkins Wilbur was who the joke was originally about, who passed away, so it felt a little wrong using his name. So I said Spalding Walters instead. But I feel like Hawkins Wilbur just as satisfying as Spalding Walters, right?
Yeah, sure, of course. But now, have those two Jewish kids reached out to you?
No.
Are you serious?
No, Ben hasn't, and I've and I'm certain he's seen it. Joey Matza, I don't know where he could be dead for all I know. He was a wild one. But Ben Jew, I know. Yeah, there was a story about him I told that I cut out of the special. Though I was walking by a bike shop in Austin where he works. Sorry, I'm giving a lot of information about him. But I walked in and I walked up to. There's a teenager working at the front, and I go, "Hey, I have a friend here. I think he works here. His name is Ben." He goes, Ben. He was afraid to say his last name because if it was a different Jew, Ben Jew, I'm like, oh, I don't know. He always seemed cool to me, you know. Ben Jew, yeah, and I think his sister too. Yeah, real people.
That's awesome. That's pretty cool. And then we learned, and I think we talked about this maybe the last time that you came in. But your dad comes up in the special, and I think we knew that your dad is Cajun, Jewish.
Yes. Oh, no, he's not Jewish. He's just Cajun.
Just Cajun.
Yes.
Okay, wait, so who's the Jew?
My mom.
Oh, okay. I gotcha. But so you go on but you end up learning, like, your dad is a genius.
He's a smart guy. Yeah, he would really push back on the word
patents.
genius. Yeah, you can just file for those. But yeah. He pushed back on it, but I have a hard time understanding how smart he was because he was so humble about it. It wasn't until he passed that I realized his colleagues thought he was a very smart guy. I knew he was smart, but like a lot of people have PhDs. He also was he was like, genius is a term for which you probably will never meet a genius. It should be that rare of a distinction. Like he thought it was a word that should have more of a barrier to entry.
Because academics in your family is huge.
Yeah.
That was a big deal. And when you tell the joke about your mom or you bring your mom up and you say something in the special about her and everybody groans, is that a normal reaction to saying that?
Yeah. It can go well or it can go poorly, and the joke kind of goes either way depending on it. But that crowd for the taping had the bad reaction, which was kind of what I wanted, so I could push back on it. But yeah.
But what I was going to say, this isn't part of the special, is but the two of them together were very, very academic driven. Like that was it.
Yes.
And I won't remember exactly what it was, but like when you were coming up and going to school and then going to college, no matter what it was, is you were always told, and I'm going to mess this up, your job is academics.
Yes.
Everything else is on you.
Recreational, yeah. Everything else, you're not going to make a career doing something else. Your gift is you're strong with mathematics. You take an interest in it. This is an employable skill set. This is out of all the possibilities, far and away the most likely path to stability you have. From my mom's side, she was born in 1947 in Tennessee, and was raised by a family that discouraged her pursuing academics. It was a more conservative upbringing. Go to school, but go there to find a husband and get married and raise a family. Women have come a long way in that time, but women weren't encouraged to pursue academics. And she defied her family's expectations to get a master's degree in microbiology. My dad's story with academics was he came from a dirt poor family who had no hopes of getting out because he was just out of nowhere an academic phenom. He was just gifted. He did very well in the PSAT. He ended up getting a scholarship to college. So it was this almost immaculate conception of his academic abilities, pulled him out of poverty, pulled his family out of poverty. So for both my parents, it was this incredible tool to be educated, to keep learning, to always be curious.
Was your dad like barefoot Louisiana Cajun?
Yeah, trash. Trash. God, they grew up, they all slept in the same bed. All the brothers slept in the same bed, no AC, outdoor plumbing.
Was it really?
Yeah. Dude, I think my grandpa was a bad guy. I never met him, but like my dad revered his dad, obviously, told these stories. And then my uncle was like, yeah, one night your grandpa came home and he had been gambling with the mob and he was cheating. He brought his own cards and he was cheating the mob down in New Orleans. And I think they gave him meth because he was all hyped up. And he kept winning and they were trying to give him meth so he'd keep playing to lose his money. I'm like, that's a bad dude. Who gets involved in that? That's my grandpa? I mean, if that was my son, I would disown him.
So how many siblings did your dad have?
He had two brothers.
And and the same thing, right? Just poor, I don't want to say backwoods because that makes it sound stupid, but like
humble origins. Yes.
Yeah. Like
yes.
Literally nothing. Yeah. Nothing. They could do a crawfish boil and that's about it.
Yes.
Yeah.
They were at that point. Yes. They
salt
were,
of the earth people.
Yes. They liked music and they had a fun time, but they pursued music because they thought that might be their path out. And they ended up having better jobs. So my dad was the first. He went to college, and then my grandpa, I think broke his leg or spine or something bad, and it put him out of commission and couldn't make money anymore. So the younger brothers had to stay home and make money and support the family while my dad was off in college. So they didn't get the same opportunity. And he came and tried to return the favor, made sure they had a stable life, that the kids had a stable life.
That's awesome.
Yeah, isn't that cool?
I love that. So they told you, and this was the part that we had talked about the last time when you were up here is, so you come up, you were working, I can't remember, some financial company or something in Houston, and then just started doing stand-up on the side. But it was, like you said, like for your parents, that was going to be your life. Like That, like you said, that's your skill. I think the last time we talked to you, you were still tutoring kids in math online. I don't know if you're still doing that.
Yeah, I didn't have anyone this semester. My student bailed on me. He didn't. Diffie-Q was too easy for my student. He was like, "Oh, well, I'm doing Diffie next semester." I'm like, "Yeah, we'll work together." And then I message him. He's like, "Yeah, I don't really need your help. It's not too hard. So hopefully next semester he needs my help." But yeah,
but you know what?
Raise them well and they fly away. You know.
But I do like. I read somewhere you were talking about math, and you don't like when people say I'm bad at math,
right? Yeah, I don't. I think it's poorly taught in the first place. I think we're kind of just now realizing the tools needed to help people understand math in a fun and engaging way.
Right.
And I also think that every person who does math knows the feeling of frustration. We all have that feeling. You look at a problem and all the letters and weird shapes just kind of mix around and just make you angry, but you have to push through that anger. When you're angry at yourself. You know, you're not angry at the math. You're angry. You don't understand it. But if you can kind of swallow your pride and go, no, I'm not going to let this intimidate me. And this is the pain that precedes growth. Look it in the face, stare it down, and come out stronger. You can understand a lot of things.
But I thought that was fascinating. Like, my kid's horrible at math, but also has like a whole bunch of learning challenges.
Yeah.
But he did finally at one point got a math teacher who broke through everything. His favorite teacher.
Yeah.
Like, loved him for it. Loved him for it because it was just such a struggle.
Yes.
Where he just couldn't pull through.
And you never know what's going to make it click for you. Even for me, I'll look at one thing and just not understand it and look at 7 different ways of explaining it. And the 7th one, I'm like, oh, now it makes sense. But it took all those different ways of analyzing it for it to kind of crack.
So now that you lost your student, are you going to be done?
No.
How do you travel and do all of that? In
I do it via Zoom.
Well, no, I figured you weren't going to the kid's house all the time.
Just like an hour a week. We can schedule. College kids have very easy schedule. It was great working with college kids because they're like, can you meet it? I've met at like midnight on a Saturday. I opened for Bert in an arena and I went into the green room and we just worked through a couple problems. It was like one of the best nights of my life. I was like, yeah, let's do some. He was like, are you awake? I'm like, buddy, I got the weird. None of my students have asked what I do. Not a single one of them has asked what I do for a living.
Oh, so
I would tell them, but they just don't ask.
I assume that they know.
No, I don't think any of them have ever figured it out.
It's in my world, I assume everybody knows you.
No, especially not college kids. Especially these are like very academic kids each semester. So like, I don't think they're interested. I think they're all better than me. They're all smarter than me. They're all harder working than I ever was. And I think they're like, social media? No, I'm not going to waste my time on that.
Yeah. Would you have been, when you were growing up, because of how academically, I don't want to say push, but engaged you were, would you have been them and been like, I have no idea. I have no idea pop culture wise, social wise, what's going on?
Oh, no, I was never like that. No, I was, especially in college, like definitely not. Academics was just not. I didn't try hard enough, and I didn't take advantage of my education the way these kids do. But they have different. They're very inspiring.
And remind me, you went to school
in Texas,
Rice?
Yes.
Oh, good memory. And that's where we met.
Great memory.
That's where we met Laura.
Yeah. Oh no. Long after I was living in L.A. She was in Austin.
Right.
This was years after college.
But where were you doing like club swimming?
I mean, all throughout. I swam club in college. I was manager of the women's swim team in college.
That's right.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah,
okay.
and coached and then swam. Yeah, I like swimming a lot. It's my favorite sport.
Do you still swim?
Yeah, at the Y. Yeah, at the same Y where Mike Birbiglia wrote his special about.
Oh, no kidding!
Yeah,
really?
Yeah, I didn't realize it was the exact same pool where I go, the Dodge YMCA in Brooklyn. Yeah, with a bunch of just old Jewish men. Now, swimming very slow.
Does Laura still swim?
No.
Not at all.
Not at all.
Can't go back, can't look back. No. Does she hate the sport?
Yes.
Does she really?
She hates it. Yeah, it's like an abusive system, where it's like you take children when they're very young.
She was a world champion swimmer.
Yeah, she was one of the best 200 breaststrokers ever, made a career out of it. All that, and she most swimmers kind of don't come back to it. Either they get stuck in it and can't get out, or they're just like, I'm done forever. Maybe similar like ballet. It's it's like horrible hours, cold, wet. You lose out on your childhood. It can be predatory in weird ways. It's,
sure.
Yeah, it's bad for people who. No one should do anything that much of anything. It's so weird. You would spend 20 hours in a pool a week. That's awful.
Now, when people talk to you about the special, and which I said beginning to end is great.
Thank you.
I'm assuming that a lot of the focus goes towards like the last 20, 25 minutes where a lot of it is about you and her.
Yes. Yeah. That's kind of like the middle section. Yeah. That was kind of the big pop of it. Yeah. Just talking about a relationship, and the vibrator joke is pretty popular. Yeah. I would say one of the more notable jokes on there. 7 minutes on the vibrator. Yeah.
But now, and one of the things that you talk about in the special, unless you don't want me to
go crazy. Yeah. Okay. It's out there, so they can watch it. Yeah.
One of the things that you get into in the special is that in order to make her orgasm, you have to use a vibrator.
That's right.
Which is a very vulnerable thing for you to say on the special. You were going to run that by her parents before the special came out.
We were going to warn the parents to skip that chunk of it.
Okay.
Yeah.
So you would
like,
never change it.
this.
You
Yeah.
would never change it.
No. No, you got to do it. You got to do the best version of it. It was also, I do think it's the strongest joke on there by a good bit.
It's great.
Yeah, we forgot to tell them, and all I got.
Wait, how did you forget to tell them?
It came out. Putting out a special is like a lot of work, a lot of all the promotion. It just kind of never came up, and I posted online. I forget they follow me, and just got a message. Oh God, I've said it already publicly. Never heard from her dad about it. Don't know if he watched it. Her mom messaged me an Amazon link to a better device than the one I was talking about in the joke, which was really funny. And people were like, did you buy it? And I said, I didn't have the heart to tell her it was the one we already have. I was like, thanks. Good suggestion. Why be like, I already knew that.
Are they comedy people?
No. No, they're about as comedy as my parents were, which is not very. Her dad reminds me of my dad, very, very stern, focus guy, like real engineer brain.
Right.
And yeah.
But like Laura now that swimming is done, she does stand up.
Yeah, she has a bit coming out like this next week. Laura Sogar, Don't Tell Comedy. She just put out her first set for, yeah.
That's awesome. And she'll at times go on the road with you.
She's with me this weekend.
Is she really? Oh, you should have brought her.
I should have. She has to work today. She still has a job. Someone's got to make money. Someone needs to make health insurance. I don't get private equity for this job. Yeah.
Oh, well, that's awesome that she's with you this weekend. Yeah. Is it weird though?
It's really fun. What do you think would be weird about it?
Here's where I think it would be weird. First of all, like I've never worked with my wife. So number one, I just think in general, and I know it's not a traditional job, but it's still your job. Like you're going to work. Like when you're at the Comedy Loft, you're going to work. And if Laura's there, she's also going to work.
Yeah.
And she's opening for you, which is fine. I understand that. And that's great. But I feel like it would be, people have good days at work and people have bad days at work.
Right.
And comics have really, really, really good sets, and comics have nights where they just bomb.
Right.
I just feel like being in that, watching my fiance bomb would be or vice versa.
Right.
I feel like that would be really hard because I don't know what you're like on a night that's bad or what she's like on a night that's bad. And the audience may not even perceive it was a bad night.
Right.
But I can't imagine getting back to the hotel. I'm guessing you don't stay in separate hotels.
Right.
And you had the time of your life. You're like, I crushed it.
Yeah. This
is the best night of my life. And she's punching a pillow because it didn't work. Or vice versa.
I guess she does
that's where I think it's weird.
Yeah, interesting. When it's the two of us together on the road for my shows, it's going to go well, typically. It's not like doing like a random spot for like if it's me and her, then it's already my weekend. It's my show. My name's on the ticket, which kind of brings in a more fun crowd for me. It's going to tend to just go better performing to my audience, and my audience seems to be very positively. She does well with people who enjoy my comedy, which is great. It's a good thing. They appreciate her. The show goes better overall with both of us there. It's just way better. A lot of people know she's my fiance. She doesn't mention it, but when I come on stage, then it becomes kind of almost a rebuttal.
Right.
So it gives this show. It's not just her set, then my set. There's kind of this kind of connection between the two of them. So we both get to share in the victory. If she's not happy with her set, she tends to not make it my problem. So
good on her.
Yeah. It's kind of
vice versa?
my night.
If not, do you make that her problem?
I'm a pain before the show. I get like stressed before the show. Obviously, there's a lot of things for a weekend of like, so I can be like a little like bossy and short tempered.
Are you really? So like if I ran
bit.
into you at the club before you went on,
yeah,
you're not fun.
No, if someone's like trying to like, I'm like, hey, I got to go like stack my shirts and get my inventory and plan my set list and make sure, maybe someone's begging for a guest spot or just, the host is being a diva or being annoying or someone's stealing my time. I just kind of want to be a little bit left alone with all the things I need to think about before a show. I'm not going to be mean, but I'm not going to be my most generous self.
Right. Mm-hmm. And so she knows at this point, just stay away from you.
With her, I'm fine. With her, we can just talk. I don't mind. She's not someone that would, but I'm not as fun before the show. How about that? Yeah. Yeah. But yeah, stress of travel, all that. It's tiring.
Right. No, I'm sure. I mean, based on that, you confirmed you take what you do very seriously, even though it's a fun night of being out laughing and everybody's having a good time.
Yeah, I want to make sure they get their money's worth. That's right.
And God forbid the shirts aren't stacked right. Of all things, that's what it is.
She stacks my shirts, by the way. She took it on herself. She goes out. She's already set up the merch table after my set. I never asked her to do that, and then she will. When I try to like let people pay, she was like, let them pay me. You talk to them. You get the selfie. I'll handle the payment because you shouldn't waste time with the payment while people are who've waited in the line to see you.
She's very smart like that.
Yeah, she's smart. She's just on top of everything all the time. It's exhausting. She's always on top of everything.
All right, let me do this. Let me take a quick break. Matthew is with us. Matthew Broussard is with us. The special is Hyperbolic. That's streaming on YouTube. The Comedy Loft, 2 shows tonight. I know one is already sold out. 3 shows tomorrow. 1 is already sold out. DCComedyLoft.com for tickets. Quick break. More with Matthew Broussard next.
Elliot in the morning.
Matthew Broussard is with us. Hyperbolic streaming on YouTube. The Comedy Loft tonight and tomorrow. I just learned something during the break, though. How'd you kick nicotine?
An act of God. I don't know.
And you were just Zins.
I was just Zins. I never smoked cigarettes. I started doing Zins because it looked colorful.
Right.
Because it's marketed towards children, and I am one. And I thought it'd be something fun to do on a road trip. I heard it was good. I heard a lot of things about nicotine and how it's good for riding, and it's a good appetite suppressant. And I was just bored. I was like, I've never been addicted to anything in my life, really, so I could just try these. And I was hooked within like 3 weeks. Just so fast.
Right. But I remember, though, you're the one who got burnt onto Zins.
Yeah. He did.
He has not kicked it.
He has not kicked it.
No, not at all.
Luckily, he's an otherwise very healthy person. Certainly nothing to be worried about there. But I have some very conspiratorial beliefs on Zen that it's worse than Camel Joe ever was. That they're. Can I go on my rants? Can I go on this like answer? And I'm sorry if you do Zen. You have the freedom to do it, but
my kids do them. Yeah, my kids do them. But like they're very routine about them. If that makes sense.
They have guardrails. They have limits?
No. Like, for example, both my kids grew up playing hockey, right?
Mm-hmm.
They're both in college now. Mm-hmm. So they'll, like, if they're going to practice or they're playing, like, their hockey bags have Zins in them, right?
Yeah.
But they won't get up on, like, Saturday afternoon and go walk around the University of Tennessee with a Zin in. Like, it's very, like, I don't want to say regimented, but it's very routine-based, if you will. So that's their thing. So what is your I
had no control over it when I did it. I would do it all the time. No matter what I told myself I wouldn't do, I would do it. I would say nothing, not until afternoon. I'm like 8 a.m. Not until I remember it was the week I did Tonight Show. I was like, I'm going to be strung out if I do Zens all week, and it's going to show in my face. I'm going to look pale, and I'm going to be like jittery on stage. So let's just try to not do it that week. I'm like, let's just try to not do it that day. Let's just try to not do it the afternoon. Let's just not try to do it before. Let's not try to have a Zen in during the taping. And I failed on every front. That was kind of a low moment for me.
Did you have the Zen in during taping?
The second one, yeah.
Shut up. Did you really?
No, I don't think I did. No, I don't know. That was a low moment. People do it though. Apparently, the actors in like Succession will have them in like during scenes, like double decker, quad, whatever.
Do they really?
Yeah. Everyone's doing it. I really think it's a really ugly thing that they found a way to go to a local gas station, look at how Zen is advertised. It's advertised on the window. It's the floor mat. They'll paint it at the floor mat, and they'll have it inside. You can stand in front of gas stations and see three different ads for Zen.
Yes.
It's neither a food nor a drug, so it's somehow skirted regulation by the FDA.
Right.
That's why they charge so little for it. Another disturbing thing I noticed was with ONS, there's 2 milligrams, 4 milligrams, and 8 milligrams.
Yeah.
They're all the same price. Why don't you charge more for more? Because you're trying to get people addicted. Because you're trying to get a new generation of addicts. Why is it those colors? Because they're selling it to children.
I hate Matthew. I hate Matthew.
They just need have some regulation around it.
Right.
And
but what's the beauty of On versus Zen? You don't get an 8 milligram with Zen, but you do with On. Yeah. That was smart.
Yeah.
If Zen were smart, they'd do a 10.
Yeah. Well, I did an 11 in London. I was like, nope. I do have some limits. On is crazy because Zen has like the cottony in it, which means it slowly enters your bloodstream. You get like maybe 30-minute high versus On, it's just straight up.
It's a gusher.
It's just powder. It's just powder through a very bad, like porous layer of fabric, and it just 8 milligrams into your bloodstream in about 2 minutes time. And like you can take that, you can flick that thing out shortly after. It's like really cheap gum. It's like Bazooka Joe. It's like, it's that flavor is spent immediately. Brother. I quit on 420. My therapist said, I was trying to quit. My therapist said, here's what we can do. Don't do 6s, do 3s. You can do double the 3s, but just have some regulation. And I was between sets in Virginia Beach, and I was walking around with my friend Gray.
On 420.
On 420, which I thought was a funny date. And I was between sets. I'd run out, so I walked over to a gas station, walked half a mile to a gas station, and they only had 6s. I'm like, well, I can't do 6s. That was the rule. And I was about to walk another half mile. And I was like, God, I wish I could quit. And Gray goes, then just quit. As he blows out a puff of vape smoke. He was literally vaping while he told me to quit. And I just go, 420, a guy vaping telling me I could just quit right now. That's a good bit. So I was like, just for the funniness of it, this would be a great moment. So
and that's it.
Yeah, but I tried many times. There were so many other times where I stopped and it didn't stick, but that was the moment that stuck. Thank God.
But you know what what I love about that story? You walked half a mile to get them, right? And they didn't have, because you had made a promise to somebody. And you were like, I'll walk another half mile just to keep that promise.
Well, I could see from above how ridiculous that was.
High fives in.
Yeah, right. That's the ad campaign. Well, I would walk 5.
Do you have an addictive personality around anything else?
No, nicotine. And I should have known, because my dad he drank his whole life, but was never an alcoholic. So he didn't have that gene. But he'd smoked as a young man and had to quit because he started smoking before they knew it was bad for you.
Right.
Yeah.
But you know what? Knowing what we know about your dad from the last break, that makes total sense to me.
Yeah.
That makes total sense that would have been part of his life.
Yeah.
And I don't mean that in a condescending way, but that makes total sense to me.
Just where he came from?
Where he came from, like dirt poor, nothing around. It was like they were all sleeping in one bed, and it was like that's what you did.
Yeah. Also among the academic community. One of the most,
that's true. Everybody's sitting around.
If you're trying to quit nicotine, cover your ears for a moment, because you don't want to hear this next thing. Einstein said there would be no theory of relativity without his pipe. He said it just helped him think.
God bless.
I know. Those are
like,
that's
great.
Oh, I want to do it again. What great ideas am I losing out on?
So Zen's the only. Oh, can I ask you one other thing? Like with nicotine, though, because I refuse to do them. I won't do that.
Zen?
Yeah, I won't smoke. Does the nicotine give you the craps?
No, not that I remember.
Really? Really?
No.
Interesting.
No.
Interesting.
Is this smoking?
Not anymore. I mean, my whole insides is just nicotine.
Yeah. It's the best. It's the best. It's so cool. That book I'm reading is like she's an artist who smokes cigarettes. She comes to America and can't speak the language, and the first 2 words she learns in English are water and cigarette, so she can beg. Some Persian cigarette.
Does your fiance? Does she doesn't do anything?
No.
Did she hate that you were
hated when I did? She would throw them away when she found them. I didn't even know that.
Oh, how much did that kill you though?
No, she cared about me, and she never pressured me to quit, which was good because she wanted me to quit. But if you become it's with addiction. If you're the person who's telling someone they should quit, they're just going to hate you.
Yeah, right. No, that makes sense. That makes sense. When is the wedding?
The end of the month, May 31st.
Oh, dude, that is right
30th.
around the corner.
Yeah, coming up.
That is. I like how you don't know the date. Though.
I can't remember. It's Friday. it's the 30th because I was looking at because I'm planning the barge. We have the day after. We're doing a Friday wedding and then a party barge on the Saturday.
Is it a big wedding?
1:30.
That's a pretty good sized wedding.
Yeah,
that's a pretty good.
It's all my family. My family's like 30 of the people there. My mom made me invite all of her friends, and she's paying for things, obviously. She was just like, this is her last, she's 78. This might be her last hurrah. So, it's all my family. It's so many of the invites.
Is it comics? Like it's
a couple comics.
Are they like, what's your biggest friend group?
It's all dispersed. I have a couple comic friends. I have a couple friends from college. I've just, a couple friends from swimming. Yeah, just kind of mixed up. My bachelor party would be a lot of people who didn't know each other.
Right. Are you having one?
I think I might have one after. My fiance, after the wedding. I might do a post because I wasn't able to schedule one before the wedding.
So Laura's like, hey, listen, as soon as we get married, go look at all the tits you want.
My bachelor party's gonna be like hiking or something really lame, like a jigsaw puzzle in a cabin.
And listen, I know I wasn't going to be on the list, but don't feel compelled at all. All right, let me get back to comedy. Mm-hmm. So this weekend, if somebody goes to see you at the Comedy Loft, which they should, is it?
New.
It's
new.
Not.
I have an opening joke about Laura. It's not the special. I'm finally at the point where I can just have a new hour. Yeah.
So the special has been put away.
It's been put away. Yes, that was very hard, but it was very motivating.
Doesn't that crush you a little bit?
It was scary. That was kind of why I waited too long to put out the special. But when I put it out, I had some new jokes to work on, and I've just had my own crowd coming to the show since the special, which means I can play around more and figure out new jokes faster. So I've had the leeway of not having to lean on my like oldest bits just to be safe. I can kind of just start where I want to start and take them with me. So that's been great. It's been one of the most exciting things is just having a new hour for people who just like, I had someone last night who watched my special the day before and then came to the show and didn't have to hear those jokes again.
Yeah, right. Because that part I feel like would kind of suck. Like I just watched this on YouTube and now it here. Can I ask something about YouTube?
Yeah.
How is this not on? And I don't know if this is offensive. How is this not on Netflix? How is this not on?
It's not offensive at all. I don't have enough followers. I don't post enough. I don't have a big podcast. I don't have.
How about it's just funny?
No.
Like there's a lot of stuff.
Are you stupid?
No, and I'm not saying this.
Did you time travel from the 90s? What are we doing? What are we doing?
But I'm not saying this just to kiss your ass. Like there are comics and they may have fans, right? It may just not be my thing. But I'll watch one of their specials, whether it's on Netflix or on Hulu or whatever it is, and go, don't get it.
It all comes back to Milton Friedman economics. That Netflix is a company that's now publicly traded, so their only duty of their CEO is to make as much profit and raise the stock price as much for shareholders. That's the only thing they need to do. So in that case, you don't want to take risks. You just want to find people who already have an audience and bring that audience to Netflix, because all we want to do right now, all the industry wants to do right now is get people off their phones and onto bigger screens.
Right.
And that's very hard to do because people want to be on their phones instead of on their screens. So if you already are big on YouTube or on TikTok, they want to pull that person's followers to their platform rather than bring someone new to the people who already follow Netflix.
Okay, so but then let me ask you this, and maybe this is where I'm stupid,
Mm-hmm.
is if I'm that guy from Netflix, I'm like, okay, so I have all these people that have a big platform and a lot of followers,
Mm-hmm.
right? But there are other comics out there who will continue to grow.
Mm-hmm.
And I know Netflix loves Kreischer, right? I mean, he's massive, right?
Right.
And I don't blame him. That's great. They're not smart enough to sit there and go, let's see.
No, they're not.
Bert was smart enough to go grab Matthew and go, I'm going to go play arenas. I need somebody really freaking strong to open for me. I'm going to go get Matthew Broussard. They don't look at that and go, Bert knows comedy. He seems to have done well. We're spending a fortune on him. Why don't we go get Matthew and it'll all grow up together?
That just doesn't work that way.
Oh, sorry.
Because
All
I couldn't.
right.
They don't have data to prove that people would open up their screens in large enough numbers. And also, I'm not good at like. There's people who post every day, and that's great because you remind people to go watch you every day. Versus, I'm a little bit more precious, which will be the undoing of me in terms of wanting to put out quality, not just go full Truman Show and just show my face all the time.
You won't do that even though you know it could potentially help you.
I don't like it for a number of reasons. I don't like putting myself out there if it's not something I'm not proud of.
Right.
And I don't like I think it's like so weirdly egotistical to just go, turn on your selfie camera and be like, hey, what's up, guys? I'm feeling anxious today. I just went for a walk. Like, I don't know. Make it worthwhile.
Right. No, I just want to laugh.
And maybe I should work harder to make something with some quality. Maybe I actually worked hard and had something quality every day. That'd be cool. Yeah.
Right. Okay. I just felt like I watched that. Was like, the special is great.
And no hate to the people who've done well with this, by the way. The people who have built that audience, who have built content, who put out stuff every day, who put out quality stuff very often, and drive people over to those platforms. That's you entertain people and you make the world a better place by doing so. So please no shame or shade to people who have succeeded that way.
Would you say that the new hour follows more of this special or older Matthew Broussard? Like this special, you're very vulnerable in.
I'm trying to be vulnerable. Yes, I have some parts that I think are vulnerable that I'm trying to figure out. I'm talking about the engagement, a lot about cats, more cat stuff, kids, and then a lot of math, a lot of talking about the tutoring and a little bit of politics and trying to get into that vulnerability. Yeah, really, that's where I like the talking about loneliness and friendship and. Yeah.
Because we didn't start that way. That wasn't old Matthew Broussard.
Old Matthew was very pedantic is the best word for it. But yeah, just isn't this weird? Look at I like Goldman a lot. I really like Gary Goldman, and just like I want to see how tedious I can get with something seemingly mundane, and see how much I can get out of that. And I still try to do that with most jokes, but that was kind of like what I really started going after, and then making fun of myself for looking like a frat boy. People always like that. I'll always do some version of that, but yeah.
By the way, is the story you tell and this will be based solely on your looks. When you were I think you said you're 20 years old, you're in Houston, and you're walking through the mall and you get approached for somebody who wants you to be like a model or something.
Yeah.
Is it the mall modeling scam or was that legit?
No, it's Page Parks. It was an actual agency. I looked into it and I don't know.
So it wasn't the scam? You legit got stopped in a mall to be a model.
Yeah. It was outdoors, I remember, but yeah, I ended up, and the guy who approached me actually messaged me a couple months ago. It was just like, hey, I was that guy who approached you, and he didn't work there anymore. I would have had to pay like $1,000 for a photo shoot, and probably wouldn't have worked. So in a way, it was a scam. I also had a guy approach me in the mall. This was in my late 20s. A guy walked up to me, and this was like kind of early on in my career. He was like, hey man, can I get a picture with you? I go, absolutely. He takes a picture. He goes, yeah, I get a picture with people who look like celebrities, and you look like George Michael. And and then he just walked away, and I was like, oh, guess I'm not there yet. Could have been worse.
But still, you look like George Michael.
Yeah. I get Will Ferrell more now. Die to look like George Michael.
And then last thing. True or false? And I think because of what I learned during the break, it's true. You can make yourself vomit on demand.
Yes.
You can.
Yes, so, I have no upper sphincter to my stomach, basically. So
I thought it was because, like, I learned during the break that you have acid reflux,
yes,
so I thought it was that.
It is that.
That's
there's just there's a muscle, a sphincter at the top of your stomach.
Right.
I think it's the esophageal sphincter that closes, so food can go through it into your stomach, but doesn't go back up in your esophagus. Mine is just
wide
unemployed.
Open.
Yeah.
Does
gaping. Just, yeah.
Does everybody who has
Sprawling maw, yeah.
reflux, can they vomit on demand?
Not that I know of. I have a weird case, and that's just purely the muscles. I'm not sure everyone's reflex is like that, but this is really gross, but the reason I was diagnosed so young is because my mom would just see me chewing. She was like, "What are you chewing?" I'm like, "Lunch." She goes, "That was an hour ago." I'm like, "Yeah." This is when I was like 3 or 4. Yeah, isn't that gross? They stuck an endoscope in my throat to see how much food comes up. It's like 100 times a day. Not all the way to my throat, but yeah.
Are you serious?
Uh-huh.
So when at 3 or 4, when you were still chewing lunch, that had just come right back up.
That would come
You're
up,
like a
yeah.
goddamn cow. Just
Like a
comes
cow.
right back up.
Yeah. Curd or whatever they do. Yeah. What's the term? Chud?
Cud.
Chewed a cud.
Yeah.
Cud, yeah.
Yeah, so that would come up.
Got cud, yeah.
How did you realize you could puke on demand, though?
I just know I can. I have control of it. It's the way you would like kind of force a
Like,
burp.
I know you've crushed, and trust me, this isn't going to end up with me asking you to, but you just crushed a ton of plantains.
I could turn that over
You
in
could go
3 seconds.
right to that garbage can and bring it up. God bless you.
And no, it's so weird because that's just how my body, it's just a muscle that I'm in control of, and I don't understand that. I don't know what it would feel like to not have that. I just have that. Isn't that interesting? I've never used, everyone's like, have you ever taken advantage of it? I used to do it when I played, when I was in football my freshman year. I didn't play. I was just on the team to make friends. And I would just throw up. People like, do it. And I would just do it just to impress people. Broussard, throw up.
See, but
and then they told all the girls, and then that
awesome.
You could throw up on command. Like, that was for the boys. That wouldn't, the ladies. That's not going to really impress the ladies.
Now, is this why you didn't have a lot of friends in school?
No, I have my own lacking of social skills. Yeah.
All right. Well, listen. The special is out. You can watch the special. It won't ruin the weekend. Hyperbolic is streaming now on YouTube.
4 o'clock show on Saturday. If you want to catch an early one, we got a 4 o'clock show we added.
How does, and I understand why you add it because there's demand. Is that a weird show?
I've never done 4. I've done 6. This will be very early for me.
6 is evening. I get that. That's like happy hour show. A 4 o'clock show that's odd.
We'll see. Could be good. Could be weird. Yeah, I think it's going to be more like, I think you're going to have like lecture hall vibes. I think it's going to be different. I think it's going to be different in a fun way.
Oh, I love walking out and going, ooh, sun's still up. Sun's still up.
Yep.
All right, so Hyperbolic is streaming on YouTube. The Comedy Loft, DCComedyLoft.com for tickets. Tonight, the 9:45 show is the only one that has tickets left. Tomorrow, 4 o'clock show has tickets, and the 9:30 show has tickets, or they did earlier, so those may be gone already. But DCComedyLoft.com to check that out. Dude, thank you so much for coming in. I really, really appreciate it.